The half-demon introduces herself as Theodisia and reveals that she is scavenging for her missing sister after hearing that she is entrapped in this tower. Danora understands that she wants them to help her find her sister, but Theodisia warns them that they'll get on the Swordmaster's bad side if they help her. Hearing this, Yogiri asserts that they have already ruined the tower and might as well declare themselves as enemies. As they are conversing, Rick and the others also appear at the spot who are glad to see that they are faring well. After this, all of them reach the final destination where the Swordmaster is waiting for them. He grants all the survivors the title of Knights of the Divine King as in the meantime, some random girls appear at the spot. They inform him regarding some disturbance in the outside perimeter of the second barrier and that the predicted time of the spawn to emerge has changed. Suddenly, a mysterious blinds all of them and it is revealed that the first barrier has been lost. At that point, a cheeky-looking guy with wings appears from the barrier. The Swordmaster instructs all the knights to take down this winged dude as Yogiri and the others make their way to the basement. Danora asserts that they should defeat the winged dude, but Yogiri asserts that they shouldn't mingle in this matter too much. The winged dude, on the other hand, offers to spare them if they tell him how to remove the barrier, but the Swordmaster refuses. At that point, the winged dude begins killing the knights one by one and with no other option left, Frederica amasses all her mana to forge a massive attack and guides it towards the him. However, much to her surprise, the attack doesn't even tickle him as another cheeky guy appears from his back and appreciates her efforts. He introduces themselves as Orgain and Lute as Frederica ambushes him once again. This time around, Lute grabs her staff and transforms her entire arm into candy. With this, Rick takes the charge and lurks upon Lute, but fails to strike him even once. Seeing all this, Lionel has no other choice but to utilize all his apologems to summon something out of this world that might help, but gets disappointed when the goddess appears out of nowhere. Even though Lionel is disappointed, the goddess reassures him that she'll take care of these small fries and proceeds towards them. Funny enough, all his excitement vanishes as the winged dude gets on his nest and addresses the goddess as Lady Vianato. Lute also rushes towards her and hugs her like their childhood friends. Seeing this, Lionel questions her regarding this as Vianato reveals that she chose him because she wanted to wipe out humanity using his worst luck. In the meantime, Yogiri and the others are heading downstairs where they come across a barrier that manipulates space. Danora suggests that Yogiri destroys the barrier like he did when saving Mokomoko, but Yogiri argues that this barrier might have been forged by Theodisia's comrades. Suddenly, a mysterious light appears from nowhere and destroys the barrier. Danora, with her sharp eyesight, sees a mysterious being with blades passing through them. Now that the barrier is gone, Theodisia heads further downstairs and senses her comrades from a room. As soon as she enters the room, she comes across various capsules and her entrapped comrades who have now turned into something inhumane. Yogiri forbids Danora to enter the room as he questions Theodisia if she can sense her friends from these capsules. In response to this, Theodisia reveals that she can sense her comrades, but her sister is not among them, which makes her guilty to be glad. She then destroys the capsules to relieve them from all this. With this, Theodisia vows to kill the Swordmaster herself and take revenge for her comrades. With all of this going on, Rick and the others are still on the roof where Vianato is blabbering something about her darling. In the meantime, the Swordmaster grants Rick the title of Swordmaster if he dies since he's the only worthy person there. He then decides to utilize the remaining power from the tower to subjugate the goddess, but they don't have enough time. Lionel feels guilty for all this and apologizes for it. With no other option left, he approaches Vianato and engages in some random conversation to buy the Swordmaster some time. He questions her regarding her intentions as Vianato reveals that her darling Lord Elbegarma suddenly wandered off somewhere and she has been looking for him ever since. After locating him, she sent multiple individuals to release him, but the Swordmaster would beat all of them. With no other option left, she had to send Lionel, thinking that his bad luck might do something the others couldn't. Vianato also reveals that the guy who built the barrier is already dead and even Godslayer has also passed away. Both of them would have been troublesome if they were alive, but now that they are dead, no one can stand in their way. She appreciates Lionel for his efforts and deems him the enemy of this entire world. She also reveals that she has erased his random walk ability and he'll die for sure this time. Suddenly, she pulls out the core of the barrier and crushes it to break the seal. At that point, the barrier breaks apart and surprisingly, Lord Elbegarma is already dead as he falls into the river. This shocks everyone as they cannot comprehend what just happened. It turns out Yogiri was the one who killed him instinctively before and there is nothing they can do about it. Seizing the opportunity, Theodisia decapitates the Swordmaster and the Blade Monster. Danora previously pierces Vianato's chest. Lute attempts to heal her and even succeeds, but Vianato has gone absolutely berserk now as she wreaks havoc. Orgain, on the other hand, instructs all the demons to destroy humanity since their lord demands sacrifice. The Divine King forges a barrier around Rick and Lionel, protecting them from the demons. With no other option left, Yogiri instructs Danora to grab him so he can feel her melons as he absolutely obliterates all the demons including Orgain. He spares Vihantao because he doesn't sense any murderous intent from her. In the meantime, Aoi and the fatty also appear at the spot. Upon reaching there, she questions Rick regarding the whereabouts of Yogiri, who implies her to read the situation and questions her identity. Aoi also realizes that they should deal with this situation and utilizes her skill on Rick to appraise him. She reveals that Rick now possesses the title of Swordmaster and can easily kill Vianato using his holy sword. With this, he ambushes Vianato and stabs her. Aoi then begins her search for Yogiri as the fatty recognizes Danora's sleek physique. Now that they have located Yogiri, Aoi decides to appraise him as well, and at that moment, all she was the end point of all fates. She couldn't resist vomiting and immediately apologizes to Yogiri for this disturbance. Realizing that she stands no chance against him, she decides to flee as soon as possible. Yogiri then questions the fatty, his priest there, who makes excuses regarding the time limit of that collar. Now that only 6 people are left, Rick asserts that he wants to question Theodisia regarding her actions. She tells him that she only took revenge for her people, but Rick insists that she answers him since he is the Swordmaster now. Hearing this, Yogiri interferes in this conversation and warns Rick that if he wants to take revenge, then he'll side alongside Theodisia. In response to this, Rick mocks Yogiri, stating that a powerless person like him can do nothing. At that point, the Divine King halts him and reveals that Yogiri was the one who killed the Dark God and the remaining demons, which shocks Rick. He then questions Yogiri regarding his identity as he tells him that he's an ordinary teenager who was summoned by the sage. After this, all of them reveal that they are heading towards the capital except Theodisia, who will look for her sister. Rick suggests that Yogiri and Danora travel with them, but Yogiri refuses, stating that he wants to travel alone with Danora. Rick then hands over some pendants that might help them on their way, and with this, all of them leave towards their destinations. It seems like Yogiri is way too overpowered for this world. We still don't know how he got his powers, but I'm sure we'll get some answers in the future episodes. Till then, make sure to like and subscribe, so you don't miss out on anything.